Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 2020 video. Today, another league race, or kind of. It's the Nations Cup, organized by ORL. First race around Baku, as you can see, heading out from our final qualifying run. We're currently P1 with a 36.526, which is not a great lap, but well, we're really gonna push it in this final run, of course, and try to get somewhere around a 0.3. As I think even if we do bottle it, then we're still in the top 5 at least. So really aiming to get pole here. I feel like I've set up the car a little bit more for the race, but we will see that once we get to the race. So yeah, first race is around Baku, as you can see. Second race around Hungary. Hungary will be reverse grid, so if I finish P1 in Baku, I will start.
Is Williams on
P15.
purpose going for P15?
I have no clue actually. If that's true, then
Is the McLaren behind me on the left?
No, I don't think so because they are on an out lap. Give me a second. Both McLarens are on an out lap.
So yeah, as I was about to say, if I finish P1 in Baku, I have to start P15 in Hungary as the first 15 switch around. And then if you are finished P16 in Baku, you're still starting P16 in Hungary, so that's very unfortunate if you do finish P16. But, and then the last race, sorry, I got confused. The last race is around China, short quali again. She had 2 normal races and 1 reverse grid. As I'm just about to warm up my tires a little bit more, service temps are a little bit down as well. As is the core of the tire. And now starting my lap. Exit is not really important because there's such a long run into turn 1, or at least until start finish when the timing starts. So doesn't matter if you get a good or bad exit, by the time you get to start finish you have enough speed anyway. So yeah, opening DRS for the first time, heading into turn 1, very long run, reaching top speeds of sometimes around 340 kilometers per hour, braking just before the curbstone, and then down to third gear, then be smooth on the exit. It's easy to get wheel spin around there and lose a lot of time, braking at 50 meters, down to third gear, short shifting to fourth, get close to the wall, and then opening the DRS again, as I move my mic a little bit away, less distraction, and then braking for turn 3 at 100 meters, down to third gear, went a little bit deep, but good minimum speed, and then braking at 50 meters again, third gear, be careful on the exit, very smooth through there, as we head into sector 2. This is very hard to get right, but you can see on the exit we gain a lot of time, so now we're 1/10 up, heading into this next right-hander before we go into the gas section. Down to second gear, use as much of that curb as possible. 800s up as we go into the gas section. We absolutely send it through there. You can see that was very smooth, both on minimum speed and the exit. Now we are 1/10 up again as we head into the next left-hander. As Tomac goes to pole position, provisional pole position, braking at the end of that curbstone down to third gear, and we just didn't get it right, and all the hard work we've done is gone now. And then I had a faulty downshift as well for some reason. It just didn't downshift, which happens a lot on the F1 game. I don't really understand why, but yeah, decided to back out of this one as I lost too much time in the last 2 corners basically. So that's unfortunate, otherwise we would have had pole, but we will still start in P3 and well, 1/10 basically behind Josh. We got a pretty solid lap in, as you can see, 0.421. And Tomac in P3 with a half a tenth faster lap. And then Fabrizio behind us, 200s. So yeah, our teammate, Matthijs, P8. So he's quite close to getting some good points as well. He's definitely in the fight for a podium position. So that's what we're going to aim for this race.
Lap 1.
Oh, that's the aim.
I'll do my best.
So as we're lining up on the grid now, behind Josh, in P3, we're just looking to get cleanly through this first lap, as it's really easy to get damaged or outbrake yourself around Baku. So really have to focus up for the start of the race, as the final cars are lining up on the grid now. Team Rest of the World is looking pretty good in P1 and P5. On the other side, we're looking very good as well with P3 and P8 on the grid. I think both of us are the best team for this race, starting position wise. But anyway, let's head to the start of the race now. 5 red lights. And away we go. Initially a really good start. Second phase isn't too bad either. And we managed to hold on to our position. I decided to go a little bit around the outside of Tomek, as if I don't, then I'll just lose a position to Fabrizio. So I have to attack to defend a little bit. And now on the exit, a little bit of oversteer. Again, a little bit of wheel spin, as tires are probably a little bit cold from the start. I decide to use a little bit more ERS than Fabrizio, as we will recharge in this middle section again anyway. Not really looking to attack just yet. I just want to save the rears, as tire wear is really high around Baku, especially on the rears. The difference between the fronts and the rears is absolutely insane. So the balance is going to shift very aggressively a few laps into this race. So we need to be careful of that. But for now, just really need to hold on to the P3 position. I feel like Tomek is in the best position at the moment in P2, as he is basically dictating on when he wants to overtake Josh. As the DRS is just so powerful around here. By the time you go into the DRS zone, you're already around 310 kph, I think so. And then it's not that long, but because you have so much speed, once you open it, you're gonna gain so much time. And then there's the second DRS zone after turn 2 as well. So DRS very powerful. Gonna use a little bit of overtake to defend from Fabrizio in case he decides to attack. But he doesn't. You can see Delta keeps dropping. So now Slipstream as well, very powerful, which helps as well. Not as powerful as the DRS, of course. But you can see Tomek just slightly pulling away, which means he's on lower wings than us. So that's going to be hard to overtake him, but I just felt more comfortable with a little bit more wings, even though it might be slightly slower over 1 lap pace. So yeah, just gonna stay in this DRS train and then maybe attack later on in the race. So now move on to the start of lap 3.
He's on 66.
What?
Struggle achter mij.
Brad, he's in front of you. He's on 66.
Tomek.
Tomek.
What about the drive behind me? He's struggling. He's out of the DRS.
I'm not coming in yet. There's no point.
Yeah. Okay.
Tomek and Josh come into the pits for a very early stop. I felt comfortable staying out a little bit longer on the softs, so I'm gonna do that and push as hard as I can with my ERS and tires, and then probably pit at the end of this lap, as I don't want to get undercut by too many people. I hope to not get undercut by anyone, as the
I go at the
softs
end of this lap.
are not really starting to drop off yet, for my feeling.
The lines.
So just gonna push as hard as I can, as I said. Use that extra fuel I have. I started with 1.8 extra fuel, and now we're on 1.6, so we've barely used anything.
Joyce extra 3 seconden geheld.
You got a chance there.
As you can hear Fleur say, both Josh and Tomek got held really badly, especially Josh. So we've got a chance to overcut here, and we're gonna push as hard as we can to do that. Trying to be as smooth as possible, as the rears are dropping off at this point as well. And using my ERS as much as I can, basically, so that we can complete this overcut. So they will definitely gain a little bit with tires, but because they get held for quite a bit in the pits, we're gonna gain it back easily. So you see there, even in this little straight, using my overtake button as we go purple middle sector, just shows how hard we're pushing. And now
Jarno, watch out for the pit entry line.
Yep.
So you don't cross them.
as now we're gonna come into the pits.
Goed close met Joyce.
My teammate Matthijs is staying out for 1 more lap, so he's gonna try to overcut even more people, as I'm pushing as hard as possible into the pit lane. On goes the pit limiter, 50% ERS, which we will gain some in this pit lane, but it's quite short, so not too much. We're gonna gain, I think, around 10% more or less. As we're coming out now, the Red Bull of Tomek is clearly leading on the mini-map, as you can see, and he's crossing start finish now. But we're coming out of the pits already, and coming out of the pits,
No, I'm
we
fine.
got into P1, and we are out of DRS from everyone as well. Tomek in P2, 1.3 seconds behind us, 1.4, as I use a little bit of my overtake as well. Now it's down to 1.3 again, so we don't have a lot of spare time, basically. Really need to push on this outlap, and the tires are cold. You can see me weaving. There's such a long straight, so the tires aren't really warming up down that straight, so I have to put some temperature in myself on that straight. And now it's just about pushing as hard as possible in this middle section, so with a bit more of breathing space once we get to the DRS. And 1.5 seconds now, so we've gained definitely. The tire warm-up probably helped a little bit as well. And now through the castle section you can see still plus 1.4 fuel or laps of fuel remaining.
You notice at the wall. You check if he's damaged.
I can't check it.
As you can hear Matthijs say, my teammate, Donoto hit the wall.
Gained 4 tenths to Arctis.
GG. So make sure you keep your ES level on the same.
Yeah, just on this lap alone we've already gained almost 6 tenths going into the final corner. So very good lap so far. But we did use quite a bit of ERS, and now is where the place where Tomac is so strong, low downforce. So you can see he's going to gain a little bit back. I already saw in qualifying Tomac was really low in downforce, really high top speed. So he's going to gain just on this straight, probably around 2 tenths back.
I jumped the nose. Let's go.
It's damaged surely.
Oh yeah.
As Fabrizio Donoso has damage, so I had to change the front wing, and my teammate Matthijs comes out in P3. So we are net P1, P3. So that's absolutely amazing for the championship. Gonna score good points for Team Netherlands if we manage to hold this and hold on to this. And now I've got a little bit of a lead. You can see Tomac gained quite a bit back on the straights. But again, we're gonna gain back in this middle sector. Really struggling to get the car rotated on those mediums. I think everyone had the same, more or less. The mediums were quite unnecessary around here. So pretty hard. But yeah, luckily we have good pace in the middle sector especially. And I'm gonna try to keep doing that for the rest of the race. As now we move on to the start of lap 8. You can see virtual safety car deployed as we had a 1.5 second gap. The gap always increases as we're driving slower, of course. Distance stays the same. So, yeah, that looks a bit weird, of course, the gap is changing so much. But anyway, virtual safety car, which gives us a chance to recharge our battery a little bit. But you can see virtual safety car ending, and I just didn't see it. So, lost a lot of time by doing that.
At least I lost so much time.
At least I had very warm tires. I didn't see virtual safety car ending, so that's absolutely my bad. I just didn't see it. Simply as that. But now we lost 2 tenths. Not ideal, but now we have to try. Now we just have to try and extend that gap again, which is not going to be easy. Tomac is really fast around here, so luckily our teammate Matthijs still in P3, trying to hold on to Tomac, who's really fast this race. I feel like me and Tomac were slightly faster than everyone else on the race pace. Obviously we were lucky that we got or they were held in the pit stop a little bit, and then I managed to take a little bit of
I think I never got the warning
advantage from that.
VSC ending, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, Jarno, you were wrong. But now you can see Tomac gaining a lot on the straight, and he's probably soon gonna deploy all the
Thank you,
ERS.
Marcel Neven, for the sub. I appreciate it.
Struggling, but Barry 8 tenths behind.
We now move on to the final few corners of the race. Nothing happened really. Tomac got a little bit closer a few times, but we had more ERS, so we could defend. Our teammate Matthijs dropped to P4. Both me and Tomac extended the gap quite a lot to the rest of the field in those final few laps. So we were quite clearly a lot faster. I slowed down a little bit in the last lap as I managed to pull a gap and then drive safely in the last lap.
GG. Fucking hell. Good job.
Moreno.
P18.
What?
P18 and Caraton P.
So close, man. That battle was intense.
Caraton P14, so he's P.
P13.
Moreno
really good for
19.
It's really good for us. Really good.
So a very good race for us. P1 and P4 scoring the most points out of any nation. So very good race for us. And now we're gonna move on to reverse grid Budapest. Gonna be a very exciting race, I think so. Budapest quite hard to overtake, so reverse grid is gonna be hard. Starting P15. Team Spain didn't score a lot of points, so I think we're leading now actually in the standings. We went into this race in P5 as a nation, and I think we might be leading now, and it's quite close. So yeah, very good race. So now moving into reverse grid Hungary race. Gonna be interesting because it's full wet, as you can see, and in full wet conditions it's quite hard to overtake on this game. So starting P15, it's crucial we get a good start and try to not get damaged, of course. Easier said than done. So now lining up on the grid, we don't have to wait as long as around Baku this time. Starting behind Tomek Poracic, our teammate Matthijs in P12, 5 red lights, and away we go. Pretty good start for us, I think so. No wheel spin, and then you can see we made a little bit of a switchback on the middle of the straight going into turn 1, overtaking already 2 cars, and then our teammate around the outside as well, and coming out of here, slightly better traction than our teammate, and we managed to go into P12, so 3 positions gained into basically turn 2. And now down the inside of Tino Naukarina, and then we should get the outside for here up to P11. We get a little bit squeezed, but nothing too bad. As
Fuck, I have damage. Oh. Go.
Yeah, I simply outbroke myself there.
Push.
Nothing really.
Fuck me, I got hit so hard.
It is absolutely chaos. Everyone is, yeah, just in a traffic
Everyone
jam.
is damage at this point.
It is absolutely chaos.
What is fucking Tino doing? What the fuck?
I think Barry has damage as well. I think they will
What?
trade it.
What? Barry! He literally smashed me. Okay.
I think everyone has damage here.
Yeah, Barry smashed my wing off. Great. Fucking great.
You've seen that before.
Can people fucking...
Rust, naar buiten.
Keep your cool.
I'm going into the pits.
What is happening?
I think we're running behind.
Body's fun. Everyone is driving like fucking idiots. Everyone is driving like fucking idiots.
Lost 2 points.
I have yellow damage, so I just continue to be fair.
Yeah, literally Barry just smashed into me and I got the red wing instead of green. Great.
Open lobbies.
Yeah, it's like open lobbies, man.
So yeah, now we're still in P12, so we still have gained 3 positions on the first lap. I just outbroke myself. I didn't expect the wall grid to pack up so hard or so slow in that left-hander. So I just outbroke myself and broke my wing. Luckily, Atte didn't get any damage or didn't spin, so that's good at least. But now we're gonna have absolute horrible understeer for the rest of the race. We have full yellow damage, so we have no front downforce. You can see car is just not turning in medium speed corner at all. So it's gonna be so hard to stay in front of Danny, but as you can see here, going to the final lap of the race, we're still in P12, which means we are gonna score some decent points. Danny Moreno, or a Mercedes teammate, is in P13, but there's a 3-second time penalty, so even if he overtakes us in the last lap, it doesn't matter. So yeah, Team Finland really pulled away, but well, I think at some point now it's a second lap slower, as the fronts are just not turning with this broken front wing.
I'm way too far.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, a really tough race, but at least we managed to defend really well from everyone behind. Danny Moreno and Tomac both don't have damage, so it was really tough defending. Really couldn't make any mistakes this race. Luckily we didn't, and now we're just looking to try to get this car around the final sector with this horrible understeer. Especially this right-hander is so hard, as it just doesn't want to turn. And now Danny is very close again, and Shirley is going to try something, but I don't really want to defend too hard, as he has a penalty anyway. So I go defensive here. He goes around the outside.
Could have done that so long ago.
As Danny goes around the outside, and he has the inside for the next one. So not gonna fight too hard. Just gonna take enough with this P13, which will go into P12. So we still got points, as top 15 get points, as you guys might know. Point system is a little bit different, so still got points. Very good for us. As Matthijs is doing some drifting on the final lap. So yeah, just happy to get points after that first lap incident where I broke my front wing. Completely my own fault. I should have broke earlier for that left-hander, as Atta was just just braking for the traffic in front of him. Yeah, nothing we could have done, or he could have done. I could have just braked earlier, so completely my own fault. And now on to the next one. So we now move on to...
Because it's gonna bunch up in the end.
China, final qualifying lap. As you can see, just warming up my tires and preparing the final lap. We're currently P4. P3 is Tomek Podacic and P2 is Alvaro Carreton. P1, our Mercedes teammate Dani Moreno. So yeah, gonna be a tough qualifying. It's not easy to overtake around China, so qualifying is quite important. Or at least we need to try and get on the front row. Going through the final corner now, 5th gear, prepare the exit, and then open the DRS as we go now, past start finish, to go into turn 1. Very fast right and very hard on the left tires. As it just keeps going on forever, down to 3rd gear. Sometimes I go down to 2nd, but didn't feel comfortable. Go a little bit wide, I missed the apex a little bit, but no harm done. Coming out of this neck left-hander, we had good traction through there, no wheel spin at all. And now heading into sector 2, you can see we are 800s up on Alvaro Carreton and also around 800s up on our own time. Now go through this easy flat left-hander, which you need to prepare very well for the next right-hander basically. Down to 4th gear to get some extra rotation, down to 3rd gear and then short shifting to 5th. As this is such a hard traction zone to get right, you need to be really smooth on the exit. And now heading into the final sector, we're 1.2 tenths up on Alvaro Carreton and 1.3 tenths on our own time. 3rd gear, short shifting to 5th. The rear tires are absolutely screaming at this point through this long right-hander. And now we're 2 tenths up, over 2 tenths up, as we turn on the DRS for the not the final time this lap actually, as there's still one on the main straight. We're gonna brake at around 100 meters down to 2nd gear and then get good rotation. You see we got very solid rotation through there, still over 2 tenths up as we go into the final corner. And turning in, I turned in way too late. I only just managed to get the curb when you need to take a lot more, so I lost definitely over half a tenth there, maybe even more, as I had no minimum speed. Tomek goes P2 for now, and as you can see in a second, we're not gonna be able to keep pole as a lot of people are still on laps. As Barry comes across the line and goes P1 by 1,000. Dani Moreno, our teammate, still on the lap, who was P1 previously and is probably improving on this final run. Going in 5th gear through the final corner, short shifting to 6th, and then goes P3, 300s behind us. So very close qualifying, you can see. With our previous lap, we would have only been, I think, P9, as my big hat is in front of the timings around that place, so can't see. Anyway, our teammate Flores invalidates, and
Flores, what am I doing?
it's gonna finish in P16. So we're gonna be starting P2 and P16, but at least Flores can choose the alternate strategy, which is really powerful around here. So
yeah, front row.
So now we're lining up on the grid behind Barry Burham and ahead of Dani Moreno, our teammate. Team Poland, very solid qualifying from them in P4 and P5. GG's to them. As that's a very good job to have both cars so high up.
Good luck, bro.
But now
Thank you. Good luck.
I'm gonna focus up and concentrate myself on the start of the race. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go. Initially such a good start, and the second phase was pretty good as well. As we go now into turn 1, I'm getting a little bit squeezed, and then into turn 1 we are leading, and we have the inside line as well, which is very good. As now it's gonna turn to the left, and we're still leading as our teammate Dani Moreno goes into P2, and we managed to hold on to the lead. I'm gonna use a bit of overtake here to be safe into the next hairpin, and now I'm gonna turn it off again. As I need to say something, as someone sends it. I think Barry and Dani go side by side into the hairpin, but P1, P2 for the actual Mercedes team. But well, we're not teammates in this championship, so we're gonna be fighting each other just like last race to try and both get that win and get ORL Nations as high up as possible, as Spain and the Netherlands are pretty tight rivals, I think so. I think we're pretty equal on points at this point for the lead, so not going to be easy. But now going through this long right-hander, always hard on the tires, so easy to overheat, as Danny Moreno is going to turn on the overtake button. We're not going to defend, as I want to save that ERS for later on in the race, and maybe get him back later. But now going into the hairpin, braking a little bit earlier than 100 meters, as I have dirty air as well, of course, so easy to hit the back of Danny Moreno. And yeah, for now I'm just going to sit back, stay in the DRS, and save my tires a little bit, as the tire wear is really high around China. So don't want to spend too much time on or burn out one set of tires and then having to do too many laps on the others, on the set of mediums, for example. And now we move on to halfway into lap 3. We're still within half a second of Danny Moreno, and we're gonna get DRS this lap for the first time. And I'm planning to pit at the end of this lap, so we can do 10 laps on the mediums. And before I head into pits, I want to have track position, of course, so I'm really gonna push and try to get past Danny Moreno here, so we can get track position and get the undercut, so we can basically not lose too many positions, because some people behind me already went into the pits. So really gonna use my ERS here,
Yeah, I'm gonna box.
go down the inside, box this lap so I don't get undercut by Tomek and Josh, and into the lead we go, braking into the hairpin, just ahead of Danny Moreno, and now we're gonna pit for mediums. You can see I went 51% brake bias, as I felt slightly more comfortable with that. But yeah, now heading into the pits, got to brake for the 80km sign, of course, so we don't get a 5-second penalty.
I'm gonna get held so bad.
As now I switch onto the mediums, and you can see here I get held for absolute ages.
And he gets released into me, this fucking game, man!
So yeah, I'm absolutely raging. But yeah, we lost a lot of time with that. Basically the wall undercut ruined. It's not ideal. But yeah, we just gotta focus again and try to get past Barry and Tomek. So I really have to push for that. I think Danny Moreno, if he doesn't get held, is basically gonna win this race, as he's basically gained time and gonna pit a lap later, so he's gonna have better tires, etc, etc. So it's gonna be a lot easier for him the rest of this race if he doesn't get held in the pits. So now we go halfway into lap 7. You can see we're really close behind Tomek now. We've got 80% ERS, so I'm gonna try to go for a move here. You can see I'm struggling a little bit with traction. Gonna turn on the overtake. Danny Moreno has made a pit stop as well, as you can see, and he's quite far into the lead. And now gonna go down the inside. Tomek is lagging very bad, as you can see. So it's not gonna be easy overtaking him cleanly. Trying to go around the outside here, but obviously.
Oh, he's lagging so bad, man.
You can see there, he's lagging very bad. So not easy to get past when he's lagging so bad. But luckily I have a lot of ERS, so I'm gonna use that and go down the inside here.
Holy shit.
As yeah, hopefully we get him this time around. Trying to stay tight on the inside here so he doesn't get past me again. And now next up is Barry Burman. I think realistically we're not gonna get P1 anymore anyway, as I think that's just too far away. So now we move halfway into lap 12. You can see I recharge some of that ERS, and I'm gonna try and go for it on the long back straight, with the help of DRS, of course. So gonna try and close the gap a little bit here, use some of my overtake, and then we should be on his tail coming out of this long right-hander. Going through here, it's gonna be a little bit harder than usual because we have dirty air, of course, but still with the help of ERS and DRS, we might have a go into the hairpin. As you can see, he goes defensive already, as he knows what's up, and then DRS goes open, and then you can see we're gaining so much with the help of DRS. Going around the outside here, braking at the 100 meters. Going through here, he pushes a little bit wide. We don't turn in as well, we don't want a collision. And now going to this next left-hander. Gonna get DRS again. Don't have a lot of ERS left, but anyway, I don't think he has as well. So going into turn 1, around the outside, trying to get him here around the outside. He has the inside, which usually is the better place to be. But this next left-hander is going to go down the inside first. He pushes a little bit wide. I went a little bit deep in there, and I got a little bit of oversteer here. But now we're going to turn on the overtake button again, and help of Rich Mitch fuel mixture as well. Going down the inside, and then he squeezes a little bit under braking. We take the corner and the position. He turns in, unlike us in the hairpin, and causes a collision for himself. So up to P2. Tomac now really close behind us. We're probably recharged, so it's going to be tough to stay ahead of Tomac here as we go through this long left-hander. Tomac probably recharged a lot of his ERS, so it's going to be tough to keep him behind through this long right-hander and the straight. So I might have to concede a position here. As going through here, you can see it's 410. So if Tomac has at least somewhat of a decent recharge battery, then he's going to get us here. As he's going to get DRS, we don't. So it's not going to be easy. You can see we've got 0% going into the hairpin. So I'm going to let him go here. And maybe have a go next lap. You can see he's lagging still quite bad. So yeah, might not go for a move as it's a bit tricky when Tomac is lagging like that.
Yeah, but
So-
I can't overtake Tomac like this. He's
As you can even say-
lagging all over the place.
Can't overtake Tomac like this as he's lagging so much. So might just stick behind for the last lap and just taken off with P3. Still very good points for the nation. Spain is going to score more points this race. Flores started P16 or 17 as I said, and I think he's up to P8 now, as you can see on the mini-map. So very good job from him on the alternate strategy to get that many positions. But now, you see Tomac going a little bit wide, so losing some time, a little bit of wheel spin as well. So he's definitely under pressure, but I think he has definitely more battery than us. You can see rear wants to step out a little bit through here, but not gonna use any overtake in this middle section. Again, he missed a little bit of the apex, but as I said, I think he has a lot more battery than us, so it's gonna be very tough to get him back on this main straight. As I think he used some overtake on the middle section again, so he gained around half a tenth. So get a little bit of oversteer through there. As the rear tire is already 10 laps old, so they're dropping off by this time, definitely. And Tomac used a lot of overtake on that exit, so you can see he was gaining time. And now we can't basically do anything, as he's too far away to send it. So I'm just going to stay behind him and come home in P3. As Caraton tried to go around the outside of Barry, but didn't manage to pull it off. So we're gonna come home in P3 and P8 if I remember correctly.
Jeez.
So very good race from both me and Flores. Unfortunately didn't get the win, but didn't really help. We got held, and then the battling cost us more time as well, of course.
Several positions up, not bad, not bad.
So as you could see there, Flores got P9 for a brief moment. It was really short, so as I pressed on straight away. So P9 for Flores, very solid. Still got very good points, as you know. Top 15 gets points, so very good points from Flores to get P9. And yeah, P3 for us, so pretty good for us as well to get P3. Very good points. I think we just behind Spain now, but there are going to be lots of penalties for crossing pit exit lines, etc, etc. So not sure what's going to happen all, but we will see. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and see you guys next time. Ciao.